You can't be sleepy. You slept all day. Come on. Here. Yeah. Shh. Are you tired after that bath? Did swimming around make you tired? That's what he wants to do. Well, then stop with the feet and the hands. You can't do both. You can't do both.
That's my mom. Let me see the funniest face you can possibly make.
I need my hands to do it.
Why, you have a funny one?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to see.
I need my hands. Here. No, I can't do it. Oh. No. Brett the brat. Brettito. Billy Boy. I can call him Billy Boy. Isn't his name William? That's it, Billy Boy.
Why don't you try calling him Brett?
Billy Boy,
Shirley
Billy
Clown.
Boy, oh, where have you been, charming Billy? I have been to see my wife. She's the joy of my life. She's a young thing and cannot leave her mother. Did she bake a cherry pie? Billy Boy, Billy Boy. Did she bake a cherry pie, charming Billy? Oh, she baked a cherry pie, quick as cats can wink its eye. She's a young thing and cannot leave her mother. How old is she, Billy Boy, Billy Boy? How old is she, charming Billy? 3 times 6 and 4 times 7, 82 and 11. She's a young thing and cannot leave her mother.
Encore. Encore.
I'm calling Billy Boy.
Okay, Val, now you sing.
How about Billy Brett?
Billy Brett. How about Brett Willie? Brett Willie.
No, Billy Brett.
Brett Willie.
Billy
Brett
Brett
Willie.
sounds
Brett.
Have you ever seen how they call him Sonny Billy and Jimmy Billy and Jimmy Johnny, and they use 2 first names? The Indians fell in love with the first names. I had one, the Sonny Billy Blue Cloud. Let's see. No, can't do it.
Come on, we have to get the funny face.
I can't do it.
Yes, you can.
How without dumping him on the floor? Here, let's see. Come on. I'll crush his head. It's okay. It's okay. Mama's got to make a funny face. Stop fidgeting. Okay.
Mommy's falling.
That's all right.
But wait, do it again and I'll zero in. Come on.
No, I can't. I dropped the kid on the floor so we can make a funny face. Shh, stop with it. No. It's okay. You go to sleep. Go to sleep.
How's the fire doing?
Still burning on one side. You go to sleep. Stop breathing so heavy.
Okay, we're fading out. Wave goodbye. Keep waving. Keep waving. Bye. Okay, we're on. This is an interview of Grandma Nani Shirley Braverman, formerly Shirley J. Van Dam. And this is just so Brett will have an idea of who you were and what you were like.
In case
Okay?
I'm dead when he grows up.
Just in case.
Okay.
Okay, so the first question is, what were some of your favorite activities when you were a little girl?
Climbing trees. Feeding my rabbits.
Did you have rabbits when you were a little girl?
I had rabbits and chickens. And chasing a rooster. And I planted a tree that I hope is still alive. And reading, believe it or not.
And where did this all take place?
At my house.
Where?
In Kirkwood, Missouri. And I used to like to climb a tree and read my book and eat an apple. That was the 2 things. I'd run home, change my clothes, grab my book, grab an apple, and climb up in the tree where my mother couldn't call me to do chores because she didn't know where I was. She never looked above ground.
Okay. Nick, you want to keep elaborating?
And if I went in the cherry tree, I'd eat cherries instead of the apple.
Okay. Okay, this is the second question. Do you remember something that you got in trouble for?
Yes. I ran away, and I climbed up into my grandfather's cherry tree. And when it came time to go home, I wouldn't go home because I was mad at my family. So everybody was calling me. All over the neighborhood, I could see people say, "Shirley, Shirley, where's Shirley?" And I sat up in my tree and felt very good. And after it got to be almost nightfall, my grandfather came out, and he knew, for some reason, he knew I was up the tree. He climbed to the bottom of the tree, and he said, "Shirley, you're up there?" And I said, "Yes, Grandpa." He says, "Your mother's looking for you." I said, "I know, Grandpa." He says, "Well, come down in a little while. Don't make them crazy." I said, "Okay, Grandpa." That was the end of it. After a while, I came down.
Okay. 3. Did you like school, and what was your favorite thing about grammar school?
I love school. I love to read and I love to write. And I like to look at the picture books. Every classroom had a whole back wall of books. And when it was cold, the teachers used to strip us. We had leggings on and caps and mittens. And as we came in the door, each teacher and a helper would strip us down and put our ski pants over on the radiators where they'd sizzle all day. And then we'd go sit in our seats. And I had a cute little boy called Billy Whipple that I liked. He always sat behind me because my name was Van Dam and his name was Whipple, and they always seated us alphabetically. And we used to tease each other.
Did you and your family ever go on vacations?
Oh yes, we went
Where'd
on
you used to go?
vacations. Merrimack Caverns. My parents had a cabin on the Merrimack River and a canoe called the Sarjay Doo and Sherpee too. And we used to go canoeing all the time. And sometimes we used to go down river to the Merrimack Caverns where there is a big cave. And we went to Kentucky and stayed on a lake in Kentucky. And went to the Marble Caverns, which is the biggest cave in the world, I understand. We used to do a lot of things. We used to go fishing. We used to go up in the Rocky Mountains.
Did you used to get along with your brother?
Yeah.
Did you ever have any fights with him?
Yeah. I always won. Because I was 3 years bigger than him. But most of the time, he was a pretty mellow kid.
He was?
Yeah.
That's surprising.
My mother liked him better than me, but that can't be helped.
Why was that?
Because she liked boys. She always fought with her sister, Marietta, and she had 3 younger brothers that she always adored, and her 2 older brothers, but she hated her sister Marietta, so I figured that sort of carried over to me.
Okay.
But my grandparents loved me.
How did you meet Dad?
I worked at Jewish Hospital, and his brother was a doctor there, Dr. A. Elliott Braverman. And it was Valentine's Day, and my father had always sent me a box of candy on Valentine's Day. So I was up in the nurse's room, and they got a call, and I got a call that said, "Come down." They would buzz your room, and you'd go to the phone, and they said, "Come down the desk, you got a box of candy." So I got dressed.
I thought it was flowers. It was candy?
It was candy, yeah, on a big Valentine's heart. And I went down, and I got down there, and the lady behind the desk, the night clerk wasn't there, and your father was there. And he kept saying, "Oh, what are you doing? Oh, you know," and I knew he was trying to pick me up, so I was ignoring him. So then the night clerk came back and said, "Oh," I said, "I'm here for my package." And she said, "What are you doing here, Bill Braverman? Get away, you know." So I said, "Oh, are you any relation to Dr. Braverman?" And he said, "Yes, I'm his brother." And so then she gave me the box of candy, and I started going back to the elevator, and he started following me and saying, "Oh, you got a boyfriend, huh? Who sent you the candy?" And so finally, he got my name. And he said, "You're cute, will you go out with me?" I said, "No, I don't go out with guys the first night." So he said, "Can I call you tomorrow?" And sometimes I kept saying, "Are you deaf?" And he'd say, "Yeah, I'm deaf." So the next day he called me, and I answered the phone. He says, "Who's this? Who's this?" And I said, "Shirley. Did you call Shirley?" He says, "I bet you know who this is." And I said, "Yeah, it's that deaf guy." And then I went out with him.
Do you remember where you went on your first date?
We went to the Muni Opera, and I was very impressed that he would take me to an opera. There was a bar called the Martinique that all the nurses went to, and I thought if he takes me to the bar, I'll never see him again. But he took me to the Muni Opera. So I was impressed. I was dressed up, and he took me. We stood up at the free seats until he got some other seats. After half the opera, you get to go down and take any empty seats. So we went down. And we walked through the woods, through the forest park. And then he brought me home. Told me his whole life story.
Did he kiss you the first night?
Can't remember. I think he tried to. Yeah, I think he did. When he took me up to the nurses, as we were going in, he kissed me just briefly goodnight. And then as he was leaving, he told me to talk to Dr. Braverman, the intern, and he would give him good references. So just the next day, I happened to see Dr. Braverman, and I said, "Do you have a brother named Bill?" And he said, "Yes." And he said, "Why?" I said, "I had a date with him last night." He said, "Are you Jewish?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, he's not supposed to date girls who aren't Jewish." I said, "Oh, okay." I didn't date him. I just had one date. He said, "Oh, okay." So I thought, what a stuck-up guy. And then I was real surprised Dr. Braverman asked me for a date the following week, so.
Dr. Braverman did?
Yes.
Are you serious? I never knew that.
And he was married.
Are you serious? He was married at the time?
Yes, he was.
And he asked you for a date?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, we've got some juicy stuff here.
And don't tell that, Myrna. And then my brother, and then then Bill called and said, "Leave my brother alone." And I hadn't been out with anybody. I was working evenings, so.
Okay.
That's it.
Next question. Try and remember something about the first pregnancy, like when you were in labor, and do you remember what Dad was doing?
Having to fit. He didn't come into the delivery room. I had Dr. Drabkin. Well, the first labor, all I can remember was I had to go to the bathroom all the time, and your father would get me on the freeway and say, you just went, you know? I'm saying, like, pull over or I'm going to pee in this car. Other than that, it was my parents came out. My parents were here. And my father was making jokes, and Dr. Drabkin would eat my food, and then he gave me twilight sleep. And I went to sleep, and it was 6 o'clock the next night. I went in one evening, was there all day, and then the next evening at 6 o'clock they took me into the delivery room.
And Becky was born.
And Becky was born, and I said it was Becky, and...
Do you remember the look on Dad's face? Was he proud? Was he excited? How about you?
Well, the doctor, when she was born, said, "Here's Becky." And they took her over, and I was trying to see her. They didn't give her to you then. They took her over to clean her up. And when they were cleaning her up, they had her under the ultraviolet lights, which was the end thing that they did then. And when I looked at her, she looked blue. And I got hysterical. I said, "Oh, I've had a blue baby. I've had a blue baby." And the doctor said, "She's not blue. She's under ultraviolet lights." But I couldn't see the ultraviolet lights. All I could see was she looked blue. So the doctor said, "For God's sake, give her to her. Take her over there so they can see she's not blue." So they wrapped her up and brought her over to me. And she had real black hair and real big eyelashes. I said, "Oh, she's not blue." So then they took me out, and they wouldn't bring the baby to you till the next visiting day. You know, I mean, in those days they were very strict. And I got out. I was in with this movie star's wife,
Dean Jones, who had Dina Jones, were astrological twins, her and Becky, and they had the bars up, and I wanted to go to the bathroom. I had to crawl over the bar to go to the bathroom, and it turned out that our lights were unplugged because we had the light on all night and nobody would come. And I went to the bathroom, and then I went back. I have to say one thing, that Deanna Jones was in my grade because I remember she liked me. So it must have been their
Deanna
oldest.
Jones. That was his first wife. Now he's married somebody else.
No, but I mean the daughter that they had was Deanna Jones.
Yeah, they lived in the valley too.
No, but what I'm saying is it couldn't have been with Becky. That had to be with me.
No,
because she was my age.
They said her name was Dina Jones.
Maybe Dina and Deanna. Oh, maybe
Deanna.
It's two different ones.
It was named after him, though, Dina.
Maybe that was the first one, and then Deanna was the one. Okay, anyway.
Whatever.
All right. And for the final question, I think I'll sit down next to you. Okay. For the final question, I just want you to give Brett some words of wisdom for when he grows up.
In words of wisdom, enjoy life because it's short. Always follow your heart. That's all. And know that you've got enough in here to solve all of the problems of life. Just wait till a little still small voice inside of you tells you what to do. And don't listen to all these people that are trying to instruct you and educate you, because they don't know what's going on.